Hi, my name is Liz Hathaway and this is my astrological look at the week ahead. And that's the week starting Monday the 23rd of December 2019. As you can probably hear, I've got a cold at the moment, so I'm going to whiz through this. I'm going to pretend we're still in Sag season. Well, Mercury's still in Sag, so I'm going to give it a good run. Today, Sun square Chiron. That's a moment that we can see with more clarity a certain part of ourselves that is underdeveloped. Forget Chiron is in Aries at the moment. So it's about the raw, undifferentiated parts of ourselves. Sun square Chiron can give us an angle on that, can bring certain aspects of our personality that need to be developed into much more focus. That's something we can work on and build on. Take note of your dreams. Chiron is quite shamanic in the way he works through into consciousness. So it can be that you will have a dream that will point you in a certain direction, or some event will happen that it sets off a chain of associations. But anyway, it's an interesting square, this on Monday, Sun square Chiron. Tuesday, we have Sun trine Uranus, which is also a fantastic aspect. Capricorns are quite cautious and they're always sort of looking ahead. They're statisticians in a way, you know, they're strategists. They want to plan, you know, if you're going to climb up that mountain, it's good to have an idea of which route you're going to take. They're quite calculating in many respects. Hard workers, grafters, you know, like to play by the rule book. And then Uranus comes in there and trines the Sun and says, you know what, chuck that rule book. We're going to do something completely different now. We're going to give this a go. We're going to try this. And don't worry about what happens. We'll see that when we'll meet that when it comes. It encourages that Capricorn Sun to step outside the box, to step outside the known, to expand, to take a risk, if you like, just to, give it a go, have a bash. I think Uranus is great at doing that. Uranus is always willing to rush in, where angels fear to tread. It's got that sort of dynamic to it. And it's great. It's just what the Sun in Capricorn needs, actually. On Wednesday, Christmas Day, moon is in Sag, brilliant. I mean, what a party-loving moon in Sag is, so it will be eat, drink and be merry, I'm sure, because on Thursday we have a solar eclipse. So, let's really make Christmas Day a good one, right? Not that I'm bothered at all by this eclipse. It falls on my Venus. I never think of eclipses as negative negative events, if you like. I always see them as focus, bringing things to light, laying the emphasis, bringing to the foreground, if you like, bracketing off so that we can see something, view it. Of course, it's different if you're a king or a queen or the head of a company or a country even. Then eclipses have a completely different impact. And I'm not saying they don't, they don't have an impact in the personal chart, because I think they can, but they are very often, in my experience, they are very often linked to bringing things into sharp focus, things being, if you like, made clear in a big way. So and this eclipse is quite interesting for many respects. For example, its ruler is Saturn. The ruler of an eclipse is always really important. And the ruler of this eclipse is Saturn. It's in its own sign, so it's a very dignified Saturn. It's still in orb of sextile to Mars, which is the other malefic, traditional malefic, and Mars is in its own sign, Scorpio. So there's a lot of power in that Mars too. And it's power that is assisting Saturn to do the things he wants to do. It's cutting through into that Saturn-Pluto conjunction, although the sextile with Pluto is now also, was yesterday. But it still had that boost, that energy from Saturn-Pluto. So Mars is in the picture with this eclipse because it is contacting eclipse ruler Saturn. So it can be a very empowering eclipse, I think. It's falling and the day just before we've had the trine Uranus, then we have the eclipse on Boxing Day, and then Friday we have Sun conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is in Capricorn, it's in its fall. So, there is that element of being, if you like, charmed by power, charmed by success, very much a worldly sort of Jupiter in a way, very impressed by status, very focused on, how things should be done. So in complete contrast to Sun trine Uranus, which is throw caution to the wind and give it a go, the Sun conjunct Jupiter on Friday is much more consolidating. It's much more, again, back into the Capricorn mold, if you like, of laying ground plans for future expansion. Because regardless, Jupiter is still a planet that wants to expand. It wants to increase. It wants to make manifold, if you like. So maybe in some respects we could see that the Sun Uranus and the Sun Jupiter are kind of, playing, similar sort of, they're kind of working alongside each other. Uranus is bringing in this new, and then Jupiter's trying to root it, grow it, make it real, and, see a future for it. Because Uranus is not always thinking about the next step. It's just do or die. Whereas Jupiter in Capricorn is very, very grounded. It's very practical. It's very, as I say, it's quite enchanted by the world and what the world has on offer. Sunday, then, the last major thing this week is Mercury moving into Capricorn, leaving Sagittarius, leaving this, this boundless horizon. It's going to be crossing over the galactic center. It always makes me wonder what's going to come out when that happens, because Mercury is the planet of news, is the planet of breaking news. So we'll be looking out on Saturday for sure what the news headlines are with that Mercury there on the galactic center. Then Mercury moves into Capricorn. The whole thinking comes down to much more practical things. Mercury in Capricorn is very much the pragmatist, is very, very good at making plans and working things through. I'm quite looking forward to that, actually. I'm just looking to see if I've written anything else down. Oh yeah, I have a little bit of information here, extra information on the solar eclipse for people who are interested. It's at 5:18 GMT time. That's the actual time of the eclipse. The Saros cycle is 132. 132. We're talking a solar eclipse. So this is where the moon is coming between the earth and the sun. And I just want to say what Rudolf Steiner is the founder of the Anthroposophical Society and that whole movement, but he was also very into astrology. And Rudolf Steiner thought that eclipses were safety valves, especially the solar eclipse. So, and what he thought happened with the solar eclipses is that they took the evil that spreads over the earth out into space so that it can work havoc in a less concentrated sphere. He says eclipses are spiritual apertures between our earth environment and the surrounding universe. Now that is a really nice big cosmic image to end my look at the week. I will be coming back. I have made my my own view of the year. I do this every year. I always think you can download these things online, but I like to make them myself. It makes me familiar with the year, if you like. And I will be running through, hopefully without a cold, the 2020. We're entering the 2020s. Yeah, the 2020s. It sounds good, doesn't it? Anyway, I will be leaving you with a wish for a fantastic Christmas, and I'll speak to you again.